Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, for your Sunday series, it's going to be from Home Story Cup, November 2019, Zest versus Solar. Top left-hand corner of Ephemeron, the letter edition for game number 1, it is the Red Protoss player Zest. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the Blue Zerg player Solar. Alright, man, two incredible Koreans going at it in a ZVP, my favorite matchup in all of StarCraft 2. I know it might not be yours, but by golly, every ZVP I watch, I'm super interested to see which units are going to be used. It just feels like there are more strategies that can be employed in ZVP than any other matchup. But I'm prepared to be wrong about that. Soul Overlord scouting. Here is Solar and Hatch firsting at 16. Yeah, Solar is basically a very standard player. You'll not see a proxy Hatch from Solar, that is for sure. But how many Zerg players would do a proxy Hatch? Let's see. Bly will do a proxy hatch. Raynor will do a proxy hatch sometimes. Zest, no, sorry, Serral. Man, just looking at Zest there. Serral, sometimes he goes pool first, but I don't think I've ever seen him do a proxy hatch in 2018 or 2019. Anyway, everything is fairly standard here. Hit that like button if you're excited to see Zest versus Solar in a best of 5. ZVP. Oh, and also, this is on what is going to be the latest patch. The latest balance patch, where they removed charge damage from Zealots and removed infested Terrans. Added Microbial Shroud to the Infestor, which is basically a worse Dark Swarm, if you know what that is from Brood War. I'm not too excited about it, but we'll see if people want to use it, and then we will see. But third base here, sub 2 minutes here from Solar. I love it. Like it a lot. It delays his queens. It does delay his queens. It does delay his speed here. As you can see, production gets 1 queen out instead of the 2, and speed is not ready to go. So that third base does come at a cost, but allows you to get some really nice larva selection, really nice larva production here. So I like what Solar is doing. We have seen this in the past. We had a Solar versus, I want to say, Stat series about a month or two ago. And it was pretty good. Solar really standard, really went for that really fast third base, and it helped him in the macro for sure into the early and into the mid game. Adept 1 on the way and Adept 2 ready to pop from that gateway. Zest working on that Twilight Council opening. This could be a Resonating Glaives upgrade. Also, what they did is they made it so you can't cancel creep tumors. If this tumor dies, the queen needs to throw down a brand new creep tumor in order for it to start the chain again. So that's an interesting thing. Actually, coming out here, I'm not convinced this is the right idea. Although it does have the shade ready to go pretty much instantly. So, Solar doing a good job not losing any of his, any of his Zerglings there. So Adept's harassing in both locations. This Adept might be in trouble. This might be a pinned into a corner Adept if she's not careful. But I guess the Zerglings are kind of all over the place here with these 2 different Adepts. Third base, no drones here yet, but there are a couple gonna pop out soon. Is Zest gonna stick around long enough to kill them? Oh, he had to cancel. He canceled the one, and one did finish, and it did go down. Nicely played. Nicely played there from Zest. Fantastic stuff. So far, did some decent pressure there on Solar. It is a 33 to 27 worker lead. Zest has been using Chrono Boost on those workers like crazy. And going for a Dark Shrine opening. Okay, so Dark Shrine into Robotics Facility. Gonna be an Archon play. Here. What the heck is the Twilight? Oh, that's right, for the Dark Shrine. So, going to be Archons off of Dark Templar, or maybe just DTs. Sometimes we can just see DTs come in here if the Zerg player is a little bit lax on their detection. Zerglings. Oh, they got in the house. No, Zest. You can't let Zerglings inside the house, guy. Don't be doing that stuff. All right. Well, the Zerglings might get a probe kill. 2 probe kills, actually. Okay. All right. That's not bad. 2 probe kills, all those Zerglings died. Got a perfect scout off, saw the Dark Shrine, saw the gateway, saw the Robotics Facility, got the read off. He's going to be ready for it. He immediately has a Roach Warren. He's going for Spore Crawlers for detection in case it is just DTs. But Roaches in detection will handle whatever the heck Zest is sending his way. There's not many things Zest can do here, right? It's not going to be Void Rays, obviously. He can't go down the... what other path can he not go down here? I mean, he could be going for Blink Stalkers, could be going for Charge Lots. Twilight Council gives him some pretty nice answers there. And here come the DTs. Now, initially, straight up DTs. They're going to try to shut down this third base. Meanwhile, Adepts were coming right in the front door to the natural and trying to distract here, but no. Solar says, we're not going to be distracted. We're going to shut that down. These Adepts do get behind this mineral line. There's a Roach trying to stop this from happening. But this is early ZVP, man. This is craziness. What Zest is being able to do here, and the Adepts both survive. They do shade into the main base, going after more of these drones. This is really good out of Zest, like incredibly good harassment out of Zest here. 5 drones go down. A total of 6 have gone down so far. It is 49 workers, though, for Solar. That early third base has really helped him overcome these losses. Really huge fan of it. Overlord going to die. Supply blocking Solar? No, it does not. He's got enough Overlords to account for that death. And so far, so good from Solar, I gotta say. Losing a handful of drones, but otherwise happily sitting on 3 bases. He's got some Archons trying to murder stuff inside of his main. The Roach is a bit out of position here. They don't have Glio Reconstitution. Additional drones going down. That's gonna be 9 total. 10 total here. Queens really want to get that War Prism. War Prism dies, that is it. War Prism dies, and that is it. And there's the recall, and both Archons make it out with the recall. That's pretty good. I thought one of them would die for sure. Was down to... what, exactly, like 10 shields maybe? And as we all know, the HP of Archons is approximately 0, relatively speaking. Okay, it's 10. It might as well be 0. Even Zerglings have more HP than Archons do. So the Zerglings just making sure if Zest decides to push on out, he's ready for it. Zest is taking a third base up on here. Ephemeron. Creep spreading fairly well. It's just been so aggressive, though. It's been hard to get creep spread going for Solar. He is going, again, for that Glio Reconstitution. And really, like I said, just Roaches and Detection will keep him safe for some time. There's really not much else that he needs. It's not going to be Disruptors, probably, unless there's a Robotics Bay coming in somewhere. But nah, it's just a Forge. There's a lot of Warp Gates. We do see Charge. We do see Charge coming on in here. And what Charge does is gives a huge benefit of speed to the Zealots. Just running around. And then when they charge, they're still fast. But they don't do the 8 damage on the charge. When they contact with you after a charge, it's not the 8 damage anymore. So what that means is they're very fast. They're good at harassment. They still charge in there, and they still get right up in your face. And they're still as tanky as they ever were. So I think they're okay, but I understand Protoss players who hate them now. But we'll see. We'll see until we can actually play with them before we decide. Zerglings do get into this third base, but there's a shield battery and an Adept. And that means this number of Lings can't do anything about it. Nice warp in. Zerglings not really accomplishing much here. Zest coming in at 7.5 minutes. He's ready to rock. He's ready to murder things if he's going to be allowed to. He's got Sentries. He's got Zealots with Charge. He's got Archons. And he has Unimmortal, which tells me that a Roach Ravager, yep, Roach Ravager is going to be just fine. I really feel like Solar's okay in this situation. The Force Fields do trap a couple Ravagers on in. Only one goes down, though. Up a couple more with extra Force Fields. Thanks. Oh, that Force Field play. Even with the Ravagers here, it doesn't really matter. I've been saying for years, I kind of feel like Corrosive Bile should land faster. Because as it stands, you can dodge it easily. And as it stands, by the time it actually lands and kills the force field, the stuff that's trapped on the other side of the force field is probably dead anyway. So, I mean, it is nice if someone's trying to force field your ramp, not allow you back into your own main base. Sure, I get that. That makes a ton of sense. But otherwise, it's just too slow at these higher levels. Probe does get sniped off. Not sure. Not a great time to transfer, I guess, for that probe. Meanwhile, got Archon harassed back here at the natural base trying to do stuff. New War Prism exists there. Got a Zealot. There's that charge. And see, I don't think we had the damage on the attack here. Swarm Host in production. Another thing they did is they made it so that the Swarm Host and Nidus is not as good by increasing the amount of time it takes to load and unload units from the Nidus Swarm. So it didn't do anything to the Swarm Host themselves. They still have crazy amounts of DPS on those Locusts. They still move around fairly quickly, especially if they're on creep. But you don't have to worry about escape and unloading being as fast as it has been in the past. So we'll see if that's enough, as in fact there is a Nidus network coming in. +1 missile attack being researched, but unfortunately we already have the +1 attack done for Zest for his gateway units. He's trying to defend his 4th base. He's trying to make sure he has, well, there's literally nothing back here at the natural, but it gets skipped anyway and goes right in for the main. Zerglings ready to see what they can do here. At the very least, they're going to slow this down. Nice warping, though. Humongous warping of Zealots back here. Archons and Zealots. An attack at the front is coming at the same time. Yeah, Force Fields once again. See what I'm talking about? Bam. You already escaped. Already escaped. Main base going pretty well for Zest right here. Roach is trying to handle it, but getting massacred by the Zealot combination with the Archons and that +1 attack bonus versus Biological. Archon, really good unit, especially against Zerg, and this might be it. Suddenly we're down to 50 workers. The main base is a ghost town. No income there at all. Bile's landing on force wheels and not landing on Zest's army, and he's okay with that. Blah, blah, blah. Roach is trying to come out. They continue to die. This Archon having a great time. 19 kills going after these Swarm hosts that are on cooldown. Unfortunately for them, there is an Immortal in this mix. He's got 7 kills. He's wrecking these Roach buddies. They're not focusing on the Immortal at all, but there's a lot of stuff going on. The Swarm hosts get all trapped in a corner, and all of them die. So many drones have died, and that's your good game. Zest takes the win in game number 1 in an incredibly impressive attack with the Archons dropping in the main, Zealots warping in behind it, attack at the 3rd base, attack at the 4th base. The Swarm hosts in defense are abysmal, and Zest was able to get in there and take down Solar before the Swarm hosts could really get going on the offensive side of the map, and that's really what it came down to. So nicely done, Zest getting a win in game number 1 here. Resources lost, 13,600 for Solar and only 7,000 for Zest, so almost 50%. Almost half of the resources lost by Solar in that game. Beautiful, beautiful display of Protoss dominance there. Really only lost a handful of units outside of those Zealots. Look at that. Look at that. So good. 10 Swarm hosts down to so many resources. 75 gas, man. 100 minerals, 75 gas on those Swarm hosts. That adds up when you have 10 of them. 44 drones down, and that was it more than anything else. No hatcheries killed, but the economy hit was too much to bear. So let's move into game number 2 here. Having a good time already. You Zerg fans, let's see if we can get a comeback here in game number 2, huh? But stick with it. We'll be right back. World of Sleepers. I said this recently, but man, I cannot read that map name without doing it. World of Sleepers. Bottom of the 10 corner is Zest, and top right here is Solar. All right, man, Solar, what you got for us here? He was trying to go for the Swarm hosts. Zest saw it coming, shut it down really effectively because he won in 10 minutes. I wanted to see how effective Swarm hosts could be against Protoss with a new patch, but we'll have to wait and see that for another time, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure Solar will go for that in this game, but maybe he will. Maybe he will here on World of Sleepers. It's a huge map. So big. Look how big it is. The rush distance itself is not too bad. I mean, you don't have to go all the way around. It's a pretty darn straight shot up to your opponent's base. You don't have any slow zones. You don't have any rocks to knock down. You do have some rocks, but it's not for pathing. It's just for allowing greater ease of getting across with huge armies. So as far as Zergling Rush goes, pretty much what it is at this stage. Now, gateway opening here from Zest, fairly standard stuff if you're into that sort of thing. Hatch first out of Solar, and again, nothing crazy in the first stages of this game, but Solar really took a lot of hits to his economy, and about 10 drones is what it was. About 10 drones in the first 7 minutes or so, and I don't know how much of that can be attributed to him not getting the Swarm host out fast enough to stop Zest from showing up at his front door and wrecking him, but I have to imagine it was definitely part of it, and it's just part of the curse. We've seen players overcome it. We've seen Raynor overcome it because his macro is insanely good. By the way, Raynor just doing very well at the Home Story Cup as well after he made it to the finals of BlizzCon. This kid, I'm telling you, this kid is the future of StarCraft. I like him a lot. He's so adorable, too. Just 17-year-old Italian kid. Who knew? Who knew one of our next up-and-coming greatest players would be a 17-year-old Italian? Not me. Definitely not. But that just goes to show you never know what to expect in StarCraft, and that's why it is so fun. Again, Solar going for that 3rd hatch before the Queens, which is totally fine. Queen coming up the natural base. Got a proxy pylon down here from Zest. This has to be a Stargate. I don't know what else you do with this particular build other than Stargate. Saving up the gas for it. And there it is. There's your Stargate on the way. Okay, so this is probably going to be Oracle. We do have an Oracle list ready to go. Oracle name list. If you'd like to have your Oracle name read on the cast, go ahead and put it into the comments. Just put Oracle name and then your backstory and your name, or just a name or just a backstory. I don't know. Whatever you want. This is your show here. I'm just the trained monkey who reads things off of the screen sometimes. Churra. Hey, do you know there's merch? Did you know that there is merch for Falcon Paladin? Just go to falconpaladin.store for this holiday season to get StarCraft shirts, Falcon Paladin specific shirts, but also specific race shirts for Protoss, Terran, and Zerg, which is a ton of fun. There are pillows you can get. For some reason, there's like a sterling silver bracelet you can get if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, Oracle on the way. Oracle's name is going to be Tiny Neutron Star. 1 billion years ago, a super giant red star exploded, creating a super dense concentration of mass that fires off 2 pulses of destructive energy. It was also extremely tiny, so the Protoss put it into an Oracle. If this Oracle is destroyed, its supermassive body will fall into the center of the planet and absorb all of the mass within hours. Let's make sure this Oracle doesn't die, everyone. Second Oracle on the way here, too. And this is early. See how there aren't any spores yet? That's because you're not expecting this until about 4 minutes, and it's 3:45. That's what I'm talking about. 2 drones down. Oh, this is so bad for Solar. Get in there, man. I guess you already took some queen shots. Additional queen shots now coming in. That is disappointing, honestly. For an Oracle to show up that early and only get 2 drone kills is not good. It is 100% not good. But the follow-up here of 2 Oracles might be a little interesting. Do we have a Phoenix here at all? No, definitely not. Zergling says there has to be a proxy over here based on that timing. Where is it? Well, it's not right here, that's for sure. But if you go left about, I don't know, how many yards, how many meters for you if you're a Zergling? Is he going back in? He's going back in right on the edge of this mini-map. You can barely see. And there's still not a spore over here. Well, the queens have some ideas. And, oh no, the Oracle died. Tiny Neutron Star died, and now this planet is going to be imploded in a space of a few hours. How terrible. Hey, there's not a queen at the main base, though. Get on in there. Dude, seriously, get on in there. There you go. And drones down is bad. 5 drones down in the first 5 minutes. Not looking really good for Solar. Is he going to go down 2-0 in this series? Is that what we're looking at here today? Guess we'll see. I mean, this has not exactly been his year, in fairness. Oh, if it was just that Azept, just that Stalker and that Zealot, I think I said Zadept there, which is very strange, then they would have been dead. But some reinforcements come out and save them. Pylon depowers the proxy Stargate, and it's a Templar Archives for the tech back home for Zest. Now, what this means is you can actually be pretty good with Mutalisks. If your opponent doesn't open up Stargate, or does, but their Stargate is taken away from them, then what you can actually do is go Mutas and have a much better time with it. Ooh, the Zerglings found the Archons, and oh, a lot of damage on the one, but the other one gets saved. And Solar has to pull back. He almost took down one of those Archons as they were coming in. Can't cancel that. So if it's taking damage, you're just going to have to deal with it until it's done. Queens trying to fight here, and nice job keeping the Warp Prism away. Zerglings come in for extra DPS. And just great control here from Zest. Like, really fantastic control. I don't think he lost an Archon in the last game. Ooh. Takes down an Overlord, almost supply blocks Solar, but nothing too crazy like that happening. Third base on the way from Zest. He's just killing it economically again. He's able to get that third base up. This Zergling is so happy with having killed... No, don't do it! Having killed the Pylon, he's going after the Stargate too, but then nope, Archons say, get out of here, scrub. This is our town, scrub. Solar's creep spread a little anemic. He doesn't pay attention to it nearly as much as other Zerg players do. Like Raynor, like Scarlet, like Serral to some extent. I'm realizing I'm naming a lot of foreigners here. But yeah, it seems like Korean Zerg's not super into creep spread for whatever reason. Because, I mean, this tumor could go, and it's just... It's not. This one is now. Okay, so we're getting there. Anyway, 6-minute infestation pit coming up for Solar. Are you crazy? Ooh, that tumor died. And it wasn't canceled because it can't be canceled. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say if we're actually on this latest patch. I guess we're going to have charge lots again. That's a good way to look at it. We need infestors is what we need. So would you please to be making infestors, Solar? I'd appreciate it. Fourth base on the way, but the third base is already done and happily saturated for Zest. So Zest is ahead economically right now. Roaches are out, Lings are out, Solar sitting happily at about 67 workers, and it is Swarm Host again. Okay, so Solar says if at first you don't succeed, try again. I mean, he didn't lose as many drones in this game as he did in the first one. It's entirely fair. And maybe he's just able to get it up a little bit faster. Zest is maybe a little bit more passive here. He has a lot of High Templar, and does he have Storm? The answer is no. So, I don't know, man. Do you want to make these into Archons, or do you want to start Storm? Because Archons it is! No Storm today. This Zergling now has the duty of taking down the Stargate. But once again, Archons destroy that dream. Solar wants to knock down some rocks, give himself an additional path. and upgrade through here. These Archons are so darn annoying is what they are. The Swarm Hosts, oh, we're not even going for a Nidus this time. We're just going to walk. Nice Revelation Tag. Revelation Tag there on Solar's units. Here we go. He's fully maxed out, by the way, and this is 137 supply. So, does he have... Well, he has no static defense except for Archons versus this. No Storm at all. The Locusts do some damage, but they don't actually kill as much as I thought they would. Oh! 3 sentries going down to the Corrosive Bile. Remember I said Protoss can just dodge those no matter what? That was not true. That was a lie. Zest needs to push this back. He cannot allow the Swarm Host to set up in this location, or his third base is going to die. Look at how injured and bruised a lot of these units are. The Immortals, 4 of them, standing in strong. Swarm Host ready to go here in about 10 seconds, which can feel like an eternity. The charge lots are all over these units, and yeah, I don't think... I am like... Let's just say it is. It's on that balance patch, which could be live at this point, but I don't know. At the time of casting this, which is Sunday, the 24th of November, it is not live. But they did play it in Home Story. The games that I watched, they talked about it a lot, so I don't know why I'm second-guessing myself here. It's just hard to see is what it is. Defensive Swarm Hosts are not good. Remember what I said? However, if they can take down a couple Archons here. Nice juggling, though. North is getting won by these Roaches and these Ravagers. Corrosive Bile dodged, but the Archon dies anyway. Swarm Host going to be useless for the next 40 seconds or so. Trying to take down these Evolution Chambers at the front that are buffering quite nicely. Another Archon dies. Army supply is 132 to 56 for Solar. He's got 5 more Roaches in production. He's trying to deal with these charge lots as well as he can right now. And again, they don't have the damage on the attack, so Roaches and Ravagers may be a little bit better than they used to be here. The speed is not really a difference when you're attacking. Immortals, the last things remaining, as is tradition. Mortal down, trying to juggle as best as you can here. Zest's macro back home maybe was not as good as it could be, and I'm not sure why. It's not like he was necessarily being attacked by anything. Right? He's still got his 3 bases up. He's still pretty happy about that. But suddenly it's 134 to 36 army supply. What happened? Zest, where's your stuff? It's floating 1,200. He's warping in additional Zealots here, but Zealots are not going to help against these Locusts all that much. Look at the Zealots evaporating here. They're taking down a bunch of the Locusts, yes, but the Zealot count is down to 0. And that's it. Solar takes game number 2 in 10.5 minutes. What happened? Did I miss something? I'm backing it up here. Was there like some kind of a Baneling drop, or... I guess Zest was warping in a lot of units at the front, so he was spending his money pretty well. Yeah, he's under 1,000 minerals and under about 500 gas, warping in additional Zealots to try to deal with this. Okay. So that was just a really good defense from Solar, is what it was. Amazing. Incredible play there from Solar. Just able to hold off that army with this Roach Ravager army. I believe the Evolution Chambers helped a lot here. A lot. Right there. So keep that going if you're Solar. Just buffering up. Just allowing... So the Zealots can't get in unless it's this narrow choke. Easier to deal with them in a concave-style situation. The Archons doing some work. 9 kills, 16 kills, 0 kills on that one because it's new. Immortal with 18 there, and 12 and 6 and 5. So new to the party. This guy has actually all of his HP, so that's nice. So, incredible. I mean, a lot of this is dead supply for Solar back here, and maybe it's true. Maybe the charge lot damage is more important than I have seen in the games that I've watched thus far on this patch. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it, but it is a 1-1 now going into game number 3. Stick with it. Don't go anywhere. Actually, you know what? We're going to look at this. We always like to do the units lost, resources lost here. Yeah, if you are Protoss and you've lost almost twice as much resources as your Zerg opponent, it's a bad thing. And only 1 Swarm Host died, which is massive. Okay, now for real, we'll be right back. Thunderbird, the ladder edition, top left-hand corner, red Zerg player, Solar, bottom right, it is Zest. All right, so game number 1 and game number 2 are pretty close in content. Archons, charge lots, Immortals versus Roach Ravager, a Zergling Swarm Host. And we came away at 1-2-1. So, who's going to mix it up here? Or is this going to be a repeat of game number 1 and game number 2? Home Story Cup, man. It was incredible this year. So many great replays that I need to cast for you guys. I'm not entirely sure there are enough slots in the week for all of the incredible games that were at Home Story this year. Hot dang. I really appreciate the theme. Tropical Island in Berlin in late November, which, I just love it. I like it a lot. It was an indoor resort, so I mean, it makes sense. You had to walk in there, you had water slides, you had pools. It was just warm all the time. Obviously, people were wearing shorts and t-shirts, and it just made me laugh. I enjoyed it a lot. So this probe comes in, honestly. If I was this probe, I would try to block off that third. That's something that Solar wants to do, is definitely block off the third base. What is this? This probe trying to make it seem like he's cannon rushing. Oh my gosh. If he threw down a pylon here, would Solar pull? He's sending a drone. He really wants to make sure he's not getting cannon rush because he has no idea otherwise. This Overlord is showing up, but not for some time. And there's the third. So once again, Zest just kind of allowing it to happen. He wants to get the scout off. And what else are you going to see here, my guy? He does pull workers off gas so he can get this done faster. He's on 1 drone on gas instead of the requisite 3, so he can get up to that 300 minerals in a minute, about 50. And then toss it down. I kind of want to try this, honestly, in my own games and see how it works out. It's working out for Solar so far here. He's got 1 game won and 1 lost. And if you have a 50% win rate on ladder, you're doing okay. At least you're not falling, right? You're probably winning, actually, if you're using your bonus MMR. So there's your Queen at the natural. No resources available for the Queen at the main. Zest, on the other hand, Cybernetics Core coming up. He's got his 2nd gas and his 2nd pylon. And he's going for an adept. So pretty darn even openings throughout the game thus far. Probe goes on home, saturating the natural base a little bit because the main is already saturated. And now he's enough gas for speed. And he starts it because he doesn't have enough minerals for it. And there it goes. All right, man. So your speed starts at 2.5 minutes. Which, that's why Adept Harass is going to do a little bit better than it otherwise would. Because speed doesn't show up until later than a normal player. You get 2 queens and speed before you start your 3rd base. But, I mean, at this point, you don't get the 3rd base at 3 minutes if you do it that way. So Solar has an idea, and he is sticking to it today. Another Stargate opening out of Zest. We have an Oracle name ready to go. And it's a Phoenix, but Phoenix usually is followed up by an Oracle. Adept almost finished that transfer. Holy smokes. Trying to do something to the 3rd, but Solar's not saturating the 3rd at the moment. So nothing to worry about there at all. Let's see if that Phoenix finishes up, but if we get an Oracle, we do. Alright, Oracle's name is Alpha Star. To get an edge, the Protoss turned to machine learning to make the greatest tactical mind the universe had ever seen. In testing, Alpha Star did well, but refused to make even a single observer. For this heretical act, the Alpha Star code was stuffed into an Oracle so it could be destroyed. That is a reference to an Alpha Star game that I cast recently, which was, by the way, fantastically a lot of fun. In fairness, Alpha Star did build a single observer in that match, but spent the rest of the time being unable to kill creep tumors or the lurkers the Zerg player was going for. And I'm sure the Zerg player was confused as all get out, because it didn't know it was Alpha Star when it came up against it. But basically, you have this Zerg player who's really good at macro, but has no understanding of how to kill lurkers or how to kill tumors. And I'm sure it was incredibly confusing. I mean, it probably crossed his mind that it could be Alpha Star, but anyway, so good. That's what this is referring to here. So Oracle Alpha Star, trying to get some kills, lifting the Queen, going after drones, and gonna get a couple more there again. 2. This is about what you would expect. Any more than that is probably asking too much from today's Zergs in 2019. Anyway, Zest on the follow-up, going for a robotics facility. Do we get a Twilight Council? He's got another Oracle on the way here. Is that going to be 3? It's going to be 3 Oracles, which in fairness is a switch up from what we've seen so far in the series. 10 Lings in production. We've got ourselves a Lair. He is worried about additional Adept Harass or possibly Archon Harass. But at this point, no, we do not have any of those tech structures at all right now. He's making an observer. His 3rd base is coming up because it's very easy to hold a 3rd base on this map. Thunderbird is the macro map of all macro maps. And I would be shocked if we didn't see Solar throw up a 4th base here in about 60 seconds or within the next 60 seconds or so. He has the resources for it anyway. Zergling's coming up. I don't know what this is, to be honest. It's not going to accomplish anything. But here comes Triple Oracle Phoenix, cruising on into, looks like the main base, and indeed it is, where a Queen and a Spore live. And here goes nothing. There's a lift on that Queen. Immediate pull of the drones, recognizing the threat that this is. Actually not pulling, because you want to stay next to the Spore if you can. But 7 drones down. That is a total of 10 in the first 5.5 minutes. And the theory is on. The theory is getting additional data for it. Okay, we're at 540 for Solar. He's going for glial reconstitution. He's still droning up. He's on 62 workers, not taking a 4th base. And my prediction is not looking very good right now. There's only 10 seconds left in that. By the way, check out patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. You can join up and receive 1 bonus StarCraft 2 cast and 1 bonus Brood War cast per week, before anybody else sees it on the channel. It's a pretty good deal. $1 a month. That's all it takes. 3 more drones going down. Patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. Creep spreading a little bit better this time, and there's the 4th at about 6:15. So, all right. Later than I wanted it to be, but Solar's getting it down anyway. Infestation Pit coming in. He's really having to replace those drones that keep dying on him, so I guess that does delay the base a little bit here. Oracles, ooh, killing tumors, liking that stuff with the Observer over here. Wow. That's a lot of dead tumor. And this one going down would be problematic too. That would slow down creep spread immensely. Overseer comes in, sees a million Phoenix. The follow-up here is 1 million Phoenix with a fleet beacon. We're going to get an eye on pulse crystals in this mix. Oh boy. Solar's response to this is getting a Spire, getting additional spores. He knows the Phoenix are coming, and he is not happy about that in the least. Phoenix flying in. There's only 1 spore here. Lifting, killing. Spores do not matter to this number of Phoenix at all. Lift, kill, lift, kill, lift, kill. Overlord down. This is such a frustrating thing to deal with if you're a Zerg player going up against a competent Protoss. I can tell you this much. Especially in team games, if one Protoss goes mass Phoenix, it's so hard to deal with. Phoenix are so fast, they hit so hard. There is the Anion Pulse Crystal upgrade, I think. No, is that Flux Veins? He's going Void Rays and Flux Veins, which is the upgrade in this latest patch that allows Void Rays to go much faster than they normally do. About 4.5 on the move speed, which is fast. It is fast. I think it's a little bit slower than Corruptors, but otherwise it's very fast. Otherwise, holy crap, the drone. The drone massacre. The Queen massacre. Ooh, Transfuse wasted there a little bit, as that Queen died anyway. Another Queen down. 16 drones killed. Solar is still at 71 drones. He's doing a good job replacing them, but that means he doesn't have much of an army, and he doesn't. He basically has a handful of Roaches and Zerglings. He has a bunch of Queens to try to defend against this. But what this allows Zest to do is kind of sit back, get some upgrades, go for charge, obviously. For some reason, get Void Rays, which I don't think Void Rays are very good in general against Zerg, just because Hydras destroy them. But if you have enough Phoenix out to where the Hydras are not really making any sense, then Void Ray maybe is not a bad idea. Corruptors here. Void Ray is pretty good against Corruptors, especially in smaller numbers. This Oracle has 9 kills. Is this Alpha Star? No, Alpha Star die. There's still 2 Oracles out, so I'm pretty sure this one's Alpha Star. Nice job, Alpha Star. Maybe don't die to the Corruptors, though. All right, that Corruptor decided to spare you. That's nice. Creep spread is just getting obliterated here. Solar trying to restart it out here in kind of middle of the map, but man, that was 1 Corruptor that saved all of those drones. I guess maybe he saw the other one coming in with his buddies, and the Phoenix do not want to directly engage with those Corruptors under any circumstances at all. So 3 basing, looking pretty good here. Zest throwing up a 4th. I don't think Solar is really in the mindset to throw up a 4th base at all. Or a 5th base, rather, at all. Good transfuse and the recall, and wow, no Phoenix actually die there. That's really, really good for Zest. He can heal him up. Look how fast these are now. Look at these Void Rays. They can almost keep up with the Phoenix. Move again. I command you. Falcon needs Void Ray movement. Look at this. Okay, so they can't keep up. But look how speedy they are. It's almost hilarious how fast it is. All right, so speedy Void Rays in the play here. Blah, 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 blah. Taking out all of those creep tumors. Rosa Biles getting a few Phoenix there for sure. That's a lot of Banelings that I don't know if they're going to be very good against this. They're walking into the Archons and the Immortals anyway. Void Rays with Prismatic Alignment versus Corruptors are pretty good. Trying to get out of here until the Prismatic Alignment wears off. Overlord's getting popped by the Void Rays and trying to supply block Solar. Very close to doing it. Does Corrosive Bile. Is Corrosive Bile going to be able to get rid of those force fields or not? This base is in trouble. 4 drones down. The rest of them running for their lives. The 4th hatch is dead. Look at these Void Rays standing in here, just obliterating the Corruptors. Not even really microing at this stage. The Ravagers and the Roaches are not very good in this situation. Army supply 66 to 48. Drones trying to go back home. Some of them might be able to make it. One of them in particular, but 21 drones down is really bad for Solar. This Immortal's got 14 kills. He's in the mix. Why are there Overlords over here? Are they just trying to mess up the targeting? I mean, Solar doesn't need them at this stage. He is at 121 supply out of 184 total. Zealot's getting rid of the 5th base that Solar is trying to take down here on the left side. Parasitic Bomb does actually take out a few... Whoa! A few of those Void Rays. So that wasn't good for Zest. A little bit sloppy, but he did so much damage during that attack. I am not sure that it matters in the long run here. He's making more Void Rays, you guys. They didn't do anything else with the Void Ray other than give you an upgrade that makes it faster, and yet here we are, Zest using it in Home Story Cup, tied up in a best of 5. This is not like he's up, right? He's not up 2-0, and this is the 3rd game, and he can kind of afford to mess around a little bit because he's got 3 more chances to beat his opponent. No. This isn't a tied situation, so I don't know. Is this an implicit understanding and agreement that Void Rays are good now with the Flux Veins upgrade? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. We're looking at carrier production from Zest now. Solar's making Zerglings, which is not great here. He's trying to take a new 4th base at the 12 o'clock, but again, he was just so crippled during that attack. I don't know what he's going to have. His Corruptor count was reset. He has 1 at the moment. His entire flock at 15, completely gone. Completely gone. 15,000 resources lost for Solar and 8,000 lost for Zest. So yeah, Roach, Ravager, Baneling, Ling, Queen with 1 Corruptor is not going to win this. It's just not. Stasis fields getting produced. The Zealots are trouble. Like, the Zealots are all going to die here, but I don't think anything else will. Solar is trying to put some pressure on. Look at how fast these Zealots are. Look at them walking. Them walking is as fast as a stimmed Marine. So that's a problem. Archon's dropping in the natural base. We got a War Prism in the main. Because why not? Remember the Zealots? How there are so many Banelings is not good for them? It's true. It's not good for them. But it doesn't matter. Zest takes it. That's the end of the game there. Where are the Void Rays? Oh, Void Rays are marching into the front. And it's 80 to 121 army supply. It's 59 workers for Solar. This base is in a lot of trouble. I mean, there's Zealots inside his main. He tapped out. It was a good time to do it. A little bit early, but otherwise not too bad. So GG. Void Rays winning games in StarCraft in 2019 in a ZVP. When's the last time you saw that? Flux Veins, maybe not bad. Maybe not a bad upgrade at all. 12 kills, 11 kills on these Void Rays pushing in. I mean, these Ravagers fled before this, right? You're looking at a situation where they did not stand and fight at all. And the ground army's not that much, but it doesn't really matter. There's nothing here for Solar either. So, hooja! Good stuff. Good stuff there for game number 3. We have a situation where Solar is dead, or he's going to force a game number 5 in the next game. Take your pick. Take your pick. Place your bets now with your local bookie. And we'll be right back. Back against the wall here, Solar on Acropolis. Top left-hand corner, it is Solar. Bottom right, his enemy, it is Zest, who's been looking pretty darn good today. 1 on the back of Void Rays. Holy smokes. I can count the number of games I've cast where Void Rays won the game in 2019. Woo! Flux Veins, man. Coming soon to a ladder game near you. It just means you can run away faster, right? And close the gap faster. It means you can chase Corruptors for a little bit longer, and speed is good. Speed is incredible in RTS games, and StarCraft is no exception. I was hoping for a Forge here. Come on, Zest. Cannon Rush. I love ZVP Cannon Rushes. I like it so very, very much. Hatch first here at 16. Solar will not deviate from this build no matter what. No matter what. Well, maybe if he sees a pylon coming up here, but... Hey, Zest, play some mind games here with Solar. Throw up a pylon. I don't think he's going to do that. That's a waste of resources. I don't think Solar would buy it anyway. Although you never know. You're going to cannon rush me here? You're going to cannon rush me in a game 4 of a best of 5? Come on. It'd be insane. I'd enjoy it, though. I'd enjoy it a lot. We pull off gas. Hang on. So one guy goes on gas. When I said he pulled off gas, I assumed he had more than one on there at any point, but I'm pretty sure he just puts the one on. And that's it. Okay, so that's your build. You put one on gas, and then you go for the third hatch at about 140, 145, and then you get one queen at the natural base because that's where you need it. And then you get speed when you can. Fair enough. I like it, Solar. I like it a lot. Alright, Zest doesn't do anything crazy here either. Cybernetics core coming up. Second pylon. Second gas. And Adept on the way. Oh, we actually fully saturated the gas this time. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe he wants speed faster this time around. That must be what it is. He's not even getting his queen at the main base either. Yeah, so he's getting speed before the queen in the main. Interesting. So he wants speed up. He anticipates some kind of harassment here. The Overlord does see that the gateway is still being chrono boost, so a second Adept is going to arrive. And having speed sooner than later is really nice. You could inject or throw down a creep tumor. Let's see what this tumor does. Man, he could probably get the tumor. He decides not to. There's Zerglings about. There is a queen about. Seems problematic if you ask me. Zerglings trying to get a surround on this, but hard to do when you're not fast. And the Adept sticks around and says, hey, let's just kill more drones. If you want to assume I'm going to transfer out of here, hey, why not? Which is absolutely hilarious. Now the Adept is in trouble, though, with multiple lings. Okay, so 3 drones down, including the 1 kill that this one got. And now it's a sentry. So it's not going to be any kind of a crazy super Adept all-in style here, I don't think. There's your Warp Prism. There's your gateway. Where's your Twilight Council? Do we have a Twilight Council, Zest? Is that what we're looking at here? Or are we going to gateway open it again? There's your gas and your gas. So it's not going to be a charge lot all-in at the very least, which honestly, I kind of think the charge lot all-in is dead right now. Honestly, it wasn't very good at the highest levels of the pros anyway. We never saw it in tournaments like this. We would see it in lower level games. Oh, snap. That Adept was not holding the line. Overlord gets away too. That's pretty nice. And probes can fight for themselves pretty well in this scenario. Right? We're looking at a couple dead probes, but overall, like 3 dead probes is fine. For that number of lings they got in there, that's a trade Zest will make any day of the week. I've just never seen lings get into a mineral line with probes in that number and get really anything done at all. You need at least 12, and then you'll have a better time. But yeah, as it stands, hard to do. Now that the lings are gone, we're going to see a bunch of gateways coming up. This is a 2-base all-in. This is absolutely a 2-base all-in. It's going to be an Immortal Zealot. He doesn't even have the tech for Archons here. He's going for something crazy, though. This is incredibly aggressive. He's got the double gas, but he's not using them. Well, I keep saying charge lot, but he doesn't have a Twilight Council. What is this? What are you doing, Zest? Meanwhile, Solar on the other side, he's going for that Roachforn again. Going for that lair again. You know, roaches are your safety unit if you're Zerg. Look at all these warp gates, though. Okay, warp gate, warp gate, warp gate. Pylon. Does he have a proxy somewhere? What is this build? Is this just regular old gateway unit attack style here? 2 base. 7 gate, 8 gate rather. 2 base, 8 gate, regular old gateway attack here with 1 immortal. This feels very Heart of the Swarm to me. He's got an Observer to kill creep tumors, and is Solar ready for this? What does Solar have? Got a decent army supply, 40 to 37. He's making some Ravagers, which I really think is going to be nice here. Zest is all-inning this. He just is. He doesn't have any other tech. This is all he can do, is attack with this stuff. Spine Crawlers coming up. Solar recognizing the amount of army that's on the ground right now is really concerning. Gets an Overseer scout on in, sees there's no other tech and a ton of warp gates, and says, okay, But then Zest just goes home. What? What? Why are you just going home there, Zest? And taking a third base. Okay, well, he just fainted an all-in and then took a third base behind it, and Solar's still preparing for an all-in. Did he just get head gamed, or Solar just showed too much, right? He just was ready for it enough, and Zest said, well, forget that. I'm not going in there to die. Let's go back and try to recover from this. Taking a third base. He's going double Stargate for his higher tech. This is nuts. What just happened there was crazy. Triple hallucinated Phoenix, scouting things out, sees the Baneling nest. Yeah, Solar's not quite sure what is going on. He knows Banelings are going to be good. He's taken a fourth base at about a better time than he did in the last one. So that's real nice. Solar has lost a lot somehow. 18 Zerglings have died and 6 drones, so fair enough. That'll do. Trying to Warp Prism his way on over here with a couple of depths, but the army's pretty much sitting on top of this. So it is a 65 worker count to 53 in favor of the Zerg player, because again, Zest was planning on just killing him there, but he couldn't. And now he's making a ton of Phoenix. Getting +1 attack. Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon. Just pylons. Just trying to make sure it doesn't get supply blocked, which is what you want to be doing. Yeah, you're not getting in here with this Warp Prism, I don't think. Infestation Pit coming in from Solar. Double Hallucinated Phoenix coming in. Going to scout out that Infestation Pit, too. And an Overseer comes in for another follow-up and sees a number of Phoenix. So this is going to be Gateway, non-Charge Lot, non-Blink Stalker, with Unimmortal and a whole ton of Phoenix. So Solar gets the scout off. He sees what's happening. Spore Crawlers coming up. Recognizing the Phoenix are going to be a threat. Macro Hatch inside the main, which I really like to see. And the Phoenix scout this out. This is an attempted attack right now from Solar. Or it was until the Phoenix saw it. He's going to lift and kill Banelings. He's going to kill Overseers. It's going to be really annoying. There's your Fleet Beacon. Another Stargate. He has to be going Void Rays again, doesn't he? This has got to be Zest going Void Rays again. Ooh, Ling attack. So Ling drop inside the main. What kind of upgrades do they have? Speed. And +1 attack, melee. Okay, that's not too bad. Phoenix do kill a couple drones here at the 4th. Nice. Warping of Stalkers to deal with this. These Speedlings are actually not doing a thing. Okay, fair enough. Phoenix are causing problems, though, so it's understandable. Queen goes down. Losing queens is so abjectly frustrating. And still no interest at all in going in Hydralisks, which I kind of feel like would do a lot better here, but Solar kind of stubbornly sticking to what he's been doing. Roach, Ravager, Ling, Baneling, Queen. Haven't seen a Hydralisk built today. He did make a bunch of Corruptors that one time. That was nice. And what's the Fleet Beacon for? Additional upgrades, maybe? A depth shading on into the 3rd base while the army is out of position. Great game sense, great map sense here. Trying to get something done, doesn't accomplish anything, but I like the idea anyway. And it is Carrier. Okay, so I don't think the Carriers did much the last time we saw them in production. Pretty much the Void Rays managed to make it happen, but yeah, it's going to be Carriers here. No Spire, no Hydralisk Den. Viper's on the way for Parasitic Bomb against these Phoenix, but that's about it. Here comes a Baneling drop attempt. I'm loving this. They're only +1 attack Banelings, so they're not going to one-shot these dudes, but 2 shotting's pretty good too. Yeah, 8 probes down. Pretty good split, actually. With +2 attack, that would have been incredibly effective. But as it stands, just kind of set Zest back a little bit to 61 workers to 77 for the Zerg. Now, scary army here. We got Banelings, Lings, Roaches, Ravagers normally, but there's so much Sky Toss and just nothing here that can really do much against it. I don't know what Solar's trying to do here in this game 3 or game 4, everyone. Banelings accomplishing almost nothing there. Solar's getting a 5th base while we're still 3-basing it as Protoss. And it is Void Rays. Okay, so we're getting Void Rays. We're getting Sky Toss. There are no infested Terrans to be seen. So is this Zest just feeling out what Zerg can do against you when they don't have infested Terrans at all? Working on Ultras, working on Pathogen Glands. That's a dead mineral line if I ever saw one. Actually, are you guys out of energy? Some of you are out of energy, but some of you have enough to lift. Well, not very many. Fair enough. You've been really busy today. That's entirely reasonable. So we're going to try to see if there's a fourth base for Zest, and there's just not. There simply isn't at this stage. So Ultralisk against this is just... I mean, sure, you got to have something to deal with the ground army, fine. But the Ultras get scouted. Kindness plating on the way. +2 ground carapace here. And a fourth base from Zest. So it's late. It's a maxed out Zerg army, but he doesn't really have what he needs. He's trying to use Spore Crawlers, I think, to stay alive. And apparently also 25 Banelings. Because, you know, if you're into Banelings. Storm coming up from Zest. This fourth base is really important that it not die. Solar is going to try to kill it if he can. Moving up the spores, moving up the tumors. Trying to spread it down here for a pretty major attack, honestly. It's a lot of Banelings. Going for Ultralisk speed here, too. Anabolic synthesis being researched. Good feedbacks on the queens. Transfuses them, but they're out of energy, unfortunately. And here we go. Banelings coming in first, going after those High Templar for the most part. Nicely done. Taking care of this ground army pretty effectively. Holy smokes, the Banelings. Accomplishing a lot right there. Void Rays have taken some damage too, but they're not dead yet. That's the important thing. Our Ultra's going to take down this Nexus. I don't know, man. The Void Rays are pretty good against Ultralisks. Queen's trying to fight. Ultras are getting on out. The Nexus is still alive. 14 probes go down. But otherwise, I think Zest is okay. Keeping the Nexus was the big thing there. Additional Corruptors in production to try to deal with these Void Rays, with these carriers. Another Phoenix goes down. They're kind of losing their effectiveness as the Corruptor count starts to increase. Solar sitting happily on 80 workers, making more Vipers here. Parasitic Bomb going to be pretty good. Ultralisk here with 7 kills. Ultralisk here with 2 kills. Zerglings on the ground. Do they have adrenal glands? Of course they do, Falcon. Yes, they do. And +2/+2. It's +3 melee attack on the way. Remember how Zealots are really fast now? Zealots get on up here to the 4th base pretty effectively, or the 5th base rather, right as a drone transfer is happening. Bad times. Bad times. Have to pull the whole darn army back to deal with this, which I do not agree with, by the way. And we don't need to send everybody back. But I guess it gets the job done. Additional Void Rays in production. Did he get the Flux Veins? He doesn't have the Flux Veins. Does he not need the Flux Veins at this point? But interesting seeing Skytoss versus Zerg anyway without the Infested Terran. Apparently Ultralisks are Solar's answer, which I don't know, man. He got Pathogen Glands, but I don't think he has any Infestors, which is very strange. Extremely strange. Storming it up. Oh, Storm is just... It's always been the answer for Protoss versus Zerg for all time. Baneling's trying to get into this mineral line and accomplish some stuff. 3 probes die and a Zealot. Depowers a couple of these shield batteries, which is okay. 5 Infestors on the way. Okay, so Solar heard me, and he said, all right, Falcon, I'll make some Infestors. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th base on the way from Solar. I like what he's macroing right now. I really do. Zest is not moving out. He's not super maxed out at this point. 187 supply is a good number to have. But he wants to make sure this base stays alive under the constant Baneling attacks, which are coming in right now. I don't know what these Zerglings are trying to do. Just outkicking their coverage a bit. Corruptor count, pretty scary. With a total of 20. Although we saw 15 of them die pretty quickly in game number 2. So I don't know how good they're going to be here. Zealots once again trying to head up this way. Never mind. They saw the army heading down that way and hit in the corner. Yeah, spores are what you want to do. Okay, Zealot's coming into the main base as well as this new 6th base. Getting some stuff done, and then the engagement at the front while everyone else is distracted. And the army's pulling back to deal with this. Zest, you're so sneaky. Such a sneaky guy. Killing these tumors is nice. Wait, do you have an observer? Maybe not. This is going a little bit better than I thought it would, honestly, for Zest. This was not a huge warp-in by any stretch, but they're getting so much done. They're bringing the entire army back. They're bringing these infestors back, which is amazing. Look at these zealots going after drones in the main base. Alright, so the zealot infestation has been cleared out. Not a bad Baneling hit. The large army of Zest really shoving Solar back here. The Infestors not quite sure what to do with their lives. I mean, hold on. I want to see what they did before they died. Did they get feedback or what? Why did they accomplish nothing here? They've got full energy. They must have been feedbacked. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was it. Just barely missed that. I was watching the Baneling attack. Yep. That's why the Infestors were useless. One fungal is all they had. They're not even trying to run at this point. Oh, that's so sad. Alexa, play Despacito. Alright. So we got Ultras on the ground. And making our move. Here we go. Parasitic Bomb on the War Prism for some reason. But just can't stand in here. The Corruptors are trying to fight, but the Archons on the ground are especially bad. The Hatchery ends up falling. And Solar's in trouble. He's making 32 Ling to try to deal with this. Is there no detection for Zest? I'm looking at this. He's not killing creep tumors. That's kind of hilarious. He's not even bringing observers with him, nor is he making any. I guess he's got one over here he could bring if he wanted. Zealots fighting against drones is not a fight you want to do if you are the drones. Oh, and then their friends showed up. Okay, it got even worse for the drones at the stage. Mineral walk out. Mineral walk out of here. An Ultralisk pops out. I'm not sure what the Ultras have accomplished today, to be honest. The answer is 8 kills. And, guys, where's the other one? Oh, there's new ones coming in here, too. So Solar just lost 2 bases. Zest is happily on 4, whereas the Zerg player is technically on 4 himself. So even base count is not what you want. If you're a Zerg, anyway. You're happy about it if you're Zest, though. Lings, Banelings trying to crash into these Archons. Baneling's not doing super well. The Zealots fighting here. The Archons are doing pretty well against the Ultras. One ends up going down. The other one taking some shots here, too. He's out. And that's your good game. Zest gets the win in 19 minutes and 14 seconds. What an insanely entertaining final battle that one was. We're seeing Ultras. We're seeing Corruptors. Carriers kind of hanging out down here south. The Void Rays just doing their own thing. Army down. That's third base causing problems. The Corruptors do very well here. Against the Carriers, obviously, but then too many Archons on the ground, and that's it. So there's your series 3-1 victory for Zest. Woo! Impressive display. Zerg without infested Terrans. What are they going to do? Apparently Ultralisk, not the answer. Solar did some science for us today, and that's what we came up with. So end of the day, Zest gets the win, beats a Zerg in a major situation, playoff situation, in what feels like a while. So Protoss fans, rejoice. We'll have to do some more ZVP in future games here just because I want to see what Serral and Raider do against Protoss, especially in the late game if we ever get any of those. 46 drones down, 60 probes killed, which is a good number from Solar, but he just didn't have enough to deal with the Void Rays. The Archon count was insanely good. The Archons especially. 8 of them at the end of the game, 9 of them killed throughout the entire series. 2 Immortals down. Carriers died fairly effectively. I guess only 1 went down, but Only 3 were produced in the entire game, so it's mostly Void Ray. 7 Void Rays down, 3 left at the end there. So, yeah, man, interesting composition from Zest. Got it done here against Solar. We'll see how it does against anybody else, but I think that's going to be it for me today. So nicely done. Really, really crazy situation. So in the end, I think that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself. Kind of found ourselves in an interesting position of Balls McGee taking a non-traditional route to get here, but we're pretty much in the same spot we would be otherwise. That said, Army Supplies 104 to 68 in favor of Balls McGee. He's got Hellbats, he's got Marines, he's got Marauders. He's going to try to take down this Nexus while getting hacked up the backside and stormed into oblivion by Makashima's High Templar. Storming his own stuff to a certain extent here as well. I mean, there's some friendly fire there, to be sure. Remember how High Templar were given their own attack and how bad it is? It's enough, though, in a 4-on-1 situation to kill a Marauder eventually, and you lose a High Templar for it. Whew! Still a little bit under the weather here, but my voice is better than it has been in the past few casts. I'm wondering if you can tell. Still a little sniffly. Trying to avoid sniffing directly into the microphone here, but sometimes a sniff is what needs to happen. So Army Supply 95 to 52 in favor of Makashima. Small Army tries to come into a very entrenched position of tanks, planetary fortresses, and widow mines, and then decides to get on out of there. Again, the top base getting found by a tank. Balls McGee doing a pretty good job finding bases. Tank with his incredible +1 attack upgrade will eventually kill this thing given enough time, but the charge lots have something to say about that, and what they're going to say about it is no. You're not allowed. Yeah, this base is going to get mined out. I mean, that is a successful ninja. If you can have a ninja base that gets mined out without ever being discovered, you win. Hellions, Blue Flamers coming on in and actually focusing on that High Templar. Oh my gosh, he stormed his own mineral line. No! You genocidal maniac. Why would you kill your own mineral line? I understand that problems were happening. There were Hellions in there, but geez, there's got to be better ways. There's got to be better ways. Let the cannons handle it or get the probes out of there, but storming your own mineral line seems like a bad idea. Balls McGee is just sending small groups of units into different places and trying to accomplish stuff with them, and so far having pretty good success. Oh, almost got that pylon, but there's another pylon for the warp in, so it didn't really matter. This base going to go down for the second time today. It sure seems like it will, if you ask me. Yeah, man. Although DTs, enough to save it? Back it away. No response from Balls McGee. Nexus does go down, but these DTs, with their Shadow Stride and a carrier in production, what is even happening right now? Yeah, Shadow Stride is done. Did they actually use it, though? I don't think they did. Hang on. Hang on. You're almost there. You've almost found it. Oh, they found Ninja Base before it got mined out. Congratulations, everybody. This base is in trouble, though. Charging on in. Going after SCVs, one-shotting those guys. The DTs are very capable of that. Yeah, small group trying to get in here. Oh, does actually cancel the warp in on half of these Stalkers. That's a big deal, actually. These Marines are kind of handling it. 2-2 Marine Marauder against these Stalkers, wrecking them quite effectively. Working at 3-3, though, on the Stalkers. But overall, I mean, Marines and Marauders are incredible against Stalkers. It's the mobility of the Stalker that's supposed to do good for them. But at the end of the day, Makashima does end up losing the, we'll call it an 11 o'clock position. Charge lots respond a little bit too late. And the DT is doing some stuff too. They're not Shadow Striding, though. Use Shadow Stride. Shadow Stride now. We just keep slow walking in here, guy. I'm not sure that Balls McGee is aware DTs are on the map. I'm going to say that. Not entirely sure, but Makishima is in a lot of trouble. He effectively has one mining base. He's trying to rebuild his third, which is mined out anyway. He needs a new source of income, and he needs it now after losing that topside base. For sure, he is in a lot of trouble. Carriers could be a decent answer here, as we're looking at it. And, oh, he did blink, but onto Widowmine seems like a bad idea. So he blinked and got out of there. Smart maneuver. And DT's Shadow Stride to get away from the units that are chasing them. Man, he really wants to kill that DT. He's not going to be able to do it. Shield Battery coming in at just the opportune time. But army supply 94 to 88. Makishima has a decent army supply. A lot of them are in carriers, though. The carriers have chosen not to engage quite yet. They're not going to reveal themselves at this point in time. So yeah, pretty good mid-rank madness game. Gotta say, whoever sent this one in, thank you, I appreciate it. It seems pretty even at this stage. I mean, Balls McGee definitely has the better economy, so that does bode well for him, but this carrier stuff, a little bit scary. If you're not ready for carriers in StarCraft 2, you're going to have a bad time. That said, you're generally going to want to go for Marines and Widowmines. I kind of feel like that's what Balls McGee has a lot of anyway. He doesn't have a massive tank count anyway. And yeah, Makishima holding his own. The only problem is he's down about 30 workers, which is bad. The income is highly favoring Balls McGee right now in every possible scenario. You could probably afford to expand again at this stage, honestly. Sitting on 6,000 minerals, you might as well. Makishima needs this base to survive, I'm going to say, our little 11 o'clocker. And he's got enough to hold against these guys. And these guys and that guy. Blue Flame Hellions against Zealots, though, not bad. Really not bad. Blue Flame Hellions versus anything that is a light classification. Pretty good stuff. Is that a Rainer or a Menk statue? It certainly is. Like it. Alright, Hellions decide to try to kill, you know, a thing. Carriers showing up, though, and Balls McGee suddenly was like, hold on! What? See, you made some assumptions, too. You did not assume that there were carriers out, did you, guy? +1 air weapons is done. Turrets are no match for this number of carriers. Marines, no match for this number of carriers. Planetary Fortress in a lot of trouble here, too. SCVs maybe thinking about repairing, but they don't actually end up even trying right now. Additional upgrades would be nice. SCVs in a wrong place, wrong time here. Balls McGee decides to push up with his army to try to deal with this base while the carriers are out of position, and I kind of like it. Ghost Academy does get sniped down. What a bad place for a Ghost Academy. Ouch. That denies the upgrade. Plus Balls McGee is getting pushed away up here in the center section as well. Liberator's trying to hold this. Sneaky Ninja base destroyed, and a lot of his production is here too. As barracks and factories get sniped down, the production is not going to be good here for Balls McGee. Yeah, look at him just focusing down these barracks. Not really focusing here, going after an already expired refinery, but the good news for Makishima is he's got his base if he wants to saturate it. He's oversaturated one of his bases at least, and he's got a ton of probes that is natural he needs to put to work. So do that, and you're going to be in a good spot here, my guy. You need the minerals especially to replace interceptors as they die. Not that they're dying all that much here, to be honest. +2 air weapons is going to be done. +3 is a huge deal for carriers. Balls McGee guy, he's in trouble, is all I'm trying to say here right now. We're looking at 3 Marines, 2 Vikings, and 2 Liberators. No, 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 no. Oh, Makishima, you had it. Did you just lose 4 carriers to turrets because you commanded over them? Because you didn't know they were there? Is that what happened? Dude, Makishima had that game One. One, I say. He's going to lose another carrier. Holy crap. Holy cannoli. Dude, Makishima just lost his entire carrier fleet. I don't even... You don't even... What a... That's Meandering Madness for you guys. It really is. I mean, the Viking count is nice, but they're actually shooting interceptors, which is really dumb right now. Is Makishima going to make the comeback of the century here? He lost a carrier, but the Viking count is really abysmally low. That Marine count is not doing super well either. But a lot of interceptors are dying. Wouldn't mind getting some stuff done, as far as damage-wise is concerned at the least. Makishima making more DTs, making additional carriers. That +2 attack is done on these guys now. How many interceptors do they have? Doesn't seem like they are maxed out by any stretch of the imagination. Makishima needs to start mining from this base. He's so busy microing carriers. Oh, Widowmine's getting some serious hits in there. Another carrier goes down. Now the Marine count is way heavier than 3. Another carrier down. Again, Marine anti-air is some of the best anti-air in the entire game. Shadow Stride. Shadow Stride. Yeah, there's your scan, but all the Marines are dead, and regardless at this point. Okay, so this game went from, I think the carriers have this thing won, to a much, much different, dude, these probes are killing me. Different, everybody's in a lot of trouble now situation. Balls McGee desperately trying to take down this Nexus that he just discovered exists. With Marines and Hellions, which sure, we'll get there eventually. Viking count is high enough that I don't think any more carriers are going to be viable at this stage. That's a lot of Vikings. Army supply 120 to 56, man. Balls McGee has just been consistently macroing through this entire process. And I think that's it. I really do. These Vikings, if they focus, can take down those carriers, but they decide to pull back anyway. Not quite in a fantastic position, but you know, pretty good against Stalkers when they're landed, just because that bonus damage versus mechanical is so good. Alright, well, Balls McGee is not going to bother to replant the old ninja because, again, that's mined out, but the base a little bit to the north here is definitely a target of his. Makishima just has no idea. So there's a little icon up here above the minimap when you're actually playing the game that shows you how many idle workers you have. If you click on that, it selects every single one of them, and you can tell them to do something like mine from this base, which, again, is oversaturated at this point. So maybe you want another base. But these probes are murdering me for Makishima. They make me so sad. DT says, how about you don't get a base here? You feel good about that? Bad? Is that how you feel about this? It's burning down anyway. Where's your scans? Do you not have any scans? There it is. Alright, so it will finish building. Makishima's taking a base in the top right, taking a book out of Balls McGee's book. Trying to take a ninja here at the 28-minute mark of the match. This base just needs to get mined out so we can be done with it. Surprisingly, 1,700 gas at the assimilator in this third base, which is insane. That's so much. Like, the fourth has way little fewer gas than that. I guess this base has died a couple times, which probably explains the discrepancy. But it's a lot of Vikings. Like, a lot of Vikings. Like, 18 Vikings versus 6 carriers. Upgrades are +2 air weapons. On the other side, we have +1 air armor and no other attack upgrades at all for the air. And on the other side, we're base racing. All right. Well, base down here, base down 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions respectively. And yeah, they say never base race a Terran, but if you have carriers, maybe you can pull that off. I think the Vikings should really head back and just deal with the carriers. They're not running home. Although I suppose if they do have a recall, they can do that. Yeah, that was an important source of income for Balls McGee. Oh, he did recall some of them. But, oh, he left 2 of them alone. And actually, Balls McGee heading home. Dude, tanks getting owned by this Dark Templar. He's got 15 kills. This is a 16-kill DT. 16-kill Dark Templar. Shadow Stride it. Oh, guy. Where are you going? I don't know. Top right base for Makashima is done. We've got these probes over here, which I'd really like to see these probes do something by the end of the game. Because Makashima has no interest in using them for anything at all. His concept of idle probes is approximately nil. As I can see, there are at least 20 of them right now accomplishing nothing for the guy. Here's more. If Makashima loses this, I'm going to attribute it mostly to the fact that he doesn't know how to put idle probes to work. That's it. That's what I'm going to attribute it to. So please take care of your idle workers if you're watching this and if you play StarCraft, because some of you do. I have to assume this base going down would be pretty big. There are 2 tanks, Planetary Fortress, and 3 missile turrets here. It doesn't seem ample. We're honest with ourselves. I don't know the ground army actually needs to be involved with this at all. Like, maybe kill these 2 turrets and then just get out of here, but... Alright, fine. I guess you just can overwhelming force this thing and call it good. So, base down. Income going to fall here for Balls McGee further on. His army is up this way. Still so many Vikings, which is probably intelligent. Killing this base does not seem like a decent idea just because, well, I guess it is a decent source of income and should be for a while yet. Balls McGee's response to this is seriously just to head on over and try to base race this thing. I don't know about this. This carrier is severely injured. SCV's down. Only 38 SCVs remaining in the game. Top right base in trouble. The Vikings just wrecking those carriers. Just one-shotting those carriers. There are so many of them right now. Balls McGee's income is decent. It is better than Makashima's absolutely 0% zero everything income right now. He's going to try to win this thing with the army that he has now, but he is down 103 to 67 army supply. Balls McGee has little Vikings that aren't really accomplishing much or contributing, but if the carriers ever try to stop them from doing this, it would be a bad thing. Interesting to come on in here. I guess a lot of production does live here. We're going to focusing down supply depots for some reason. Not really a priority you should be going for. Production facilities should be much higher on the list. Yeah, and Balls McGee's like, you know what? I think we got this. I think we can come back and deal with this. 10 kills on that Archon, 12 kills on that carrier, 11 there, 14, 9 on this guy. DT's helping out the cause, going after production facilities like they are like they stole something. Balls McGee is gonna lose his main base. And here we go. This is the engagement that Makashima did not want to get involved in here today. The Archons die instantly. The Viking count is high enough to wipe out these carriers with 1 volley each. And then the Stalkers are all gone because, you know, Viking damage versus mechanical is insanely good. So did Makashima figure these guys out? No. Who are these guys? And why does he know about these ones? All right, we're done. That's it. We're at 7 army supply for Makashima. He's got 52 probes, but they are mining nothing. Nothing right now. He doesn't have the resources to build another Nexus. So he's going to long distance mine and try to save it, but we're done. We are done here. Like, I'm looking at it. It's got a Raven in the mix to snipe off these observers, which I am totally 100% on board with. And that's it. Makashima taps out. Good game. Really? Says Balls McGee. Good game. What a sick game. Awesome game. Good game. These guys are happy, and Balls McGee's your winner in 33 minutes and 50 seconds. Wow. Hit that like button if you enjoyed that one. That was a ton of fun. This is what Meandering Madness is all about, man. Just scrappiness and fighting and a little bit of unorthodox play sometimes. 8 Nexuses died. 8 Nexuses, 5 planetaries, 2 command centers, and 2 orbitals. Wow. Resources lost 51,000 from Nakashima. 67 for Balls McGee. He lost so much more stuff today, but he had more stuff because he had more workers and more bases consistently throughout the game. And that's what it's all about, man. Economically doing a good thing. 135 SCVs died. 135, and Balls McGee had 35 at the end of the game, which is hilarious. Was he making any? He was not. Okie doke. 52 probes left over, but no base to mine from at all. Balls McGee did a good job shutting down the bases of Makashima's and keeping his alive for the most part. And then just making a million Vikings to handle the carriers that were trying to get stuff done. So, wow, that was great. Just back and forth. There was a ninja expand. There were carriers in the mix. We saw Dark Templar with Blink. What a really fun mid-rank madness. Really fun. But for now, that's going to be it today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your mid-rank madness. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.